The best thing I've ever seen since long time.
Court is calling 2024 CR 2791A, State versus Ethan Anthony Rosales. Can I have parties announce?
Robert Maurer for defendant.
And are you Mr. Rosales? All right, you entered a plea of guilty on May 23rd. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, and the state is silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
We have, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report from either side?
No, Judge.
All right. State, you are silent. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Judge. I would like to call Tony Rosales.
All right. If they'll come forward, please. Hello.
My
Morning.
client was.
All right, just give me one moment, counsel.
This incident, who participated in this. Subsequent to that incident, my client had been, I guess, arrested, and then Mike Beliveau had represented him. That charge had been dismissed. Okay. Since that time, Ethan he got a job. He became a licensed security guard, passed his level 3, and was, I think, had turned his life around from this incident. And then this charge came back up, and that's what brings us here today.
So I can be sure. So he became a licensed security guard, then this charge popped up.
Yes, then this subsequent charge, yes. So he had passed all his levels. He was licensed to carry a firearm as a security guard. He passed all the testing, all the background checks. And then I guess the case got refiled as the deadly conduct. At least 2 of the other juveniles in the car with him, I think, subsequently have been arrested and charged with capital murder. Okay, which is why he's here as a co-defendant on the deadly conduct charge. So obviously the boys he was with that night, and it's noted in the offense report, he after work had gone to this Nathan kid's house, and that's how he ended up being involved in this situation.
And the capital murder charge has absolutely nothing to do with this offense.
No. So I guess what I just wanted to point out to the court is, since his incident in 2022, Ethan has turned his life around, has a good, productive job. He's still working as a security guard, not carrying a firearm, but just a lower level of security guard. And the reason I wanted his dad up here is to speak to a couple things. First of all, about the changes in Ethan since then, and also about the job opportunities he's got. So may I proceed?
Yes.
So, Tony, I know you and I have had several conversations about Ethan and what happened that night. Can you tell the court what sort of attitude or behavior you've seen out of Ethan since this incident back in 2022?
Before and since this incident, I mean, that night he used very, very poor judgment. I mean, he made a very bad decision, but he acknowledges it. His family acknowledges. We all acknowledge what he did, and like I said, like you just said, you know, we all assumed it was resolved, and we can start trying to remove this from him. And he proceeded to get his commission with the state. In fact, the day he was arrested with the indictment, he was on his way to work. He was carrying his firearm. He was in uniform. And then everything came crashing down again. But that still hasn't stopped him. We've talked about him going to St. Philip's College for
Yeah, let me ask you some, well, I have to ask an informal question. So
Okay, I'm sorry.
So what kind of work do you do?
Oh, I'm an HSE engineer on the petroleum industry.
Okay.
I've been doing that for the last decade and a half.
Okay, and so you and I have talked about Ethan's opportunities in the oil field, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you and I have discussed, and Ethan, I guess the goal is if he gets probation, that he wants to apply to be a commercial truck driver. Correct?
Yeah, he's already set up for his SAGE program at St. Philip's College, but we have to wait to see what happens here.
Okay, and then I guess as part of that, if he's able to finish his program as a commercial truck driver, he has a lot of opportunities for work in the oil field and the oil industry, correct?
Yeah. Oh, well, as a service provider, not directly in the oil field, but as a service provider, yes.
Okay. Can you tell the court what a service provider is?
So basically, you'd be transporting materials back and forth. Depending on the outcome of this court, will be determined whether or not he can get his TWIC.
Okay, tell the court what the TWIC is.
Transportation Work Identification Card. There are federal and felony restrictions to that. It's not always 100% that he won't be able to get his TWIC, but he could always get a waiver. The thing is it will limit his opportunities to be able to get a TWIC card if he doesn't get a waiver approved. But that he can still work with the CDL. He just won't have as much opportunities for advancement as he normally would.
But I guess what you're telling the court is Ethan has a lot of opportunities and possibilities facing him. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess I didn't see any violation reports or anything that's been filed. I guess, has Ethan been living with you since the incident?
100%. Yeah. I mean, all he does is work and come home and play on the Xbox. I mean, that's basically all he does.
Okay. So you haven't had any problems with him since then? Okay. And I guess, are you asking the court to give him an opportunity at probation?
Absolutely. I mean, he's not been in trouble before this or since this.
And we went over the PSI together, right? And you saw how serious the offense was, right?
Yes. And I would not, I mean, it's hard for me to say because obviously I want to do everything. I mean, I've got a private lawyer. I did everything I can to try to keep him out of jail, keep him out of prison because that's not where he belongs. But to be honest with you, I read it and I understand what he did. And even as his father, I still can't tell you that I wouldn't have the same feelings or make the same statement that they made in the PSI.
Well, I think it's good that you're honest about this situation and recognize the severity of the situation, but also understand that, hopefully, given the opportunity, Ethan can be successful.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have, Judge. And Judge, I had given these to Megan. These are just some of his withholding stuff and some of the state licensing stuff. Thank you.
All right.
That's all I have.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
All right. In regards to this incident,
Yes, ma'am.
was he living with you during this time?
Yes.
All right. And these people he was involved with, did you know them beforehand?
No. If I could clarify a little bit.
Sure.
So, military, firefighter, paramedic, and then I went into the oil field patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to COVID, and actually up past COVID, I worked overseas, Venezuela, Africa, Mozambique. So I was gone quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So he predominantly stayed with me when I was in country, which was for 3 weeks at a time, every other month. But the rest of the time he stayed with his mother on that side of town.
Okay.
So yes, he had those friends and everything happened on the west side of town, southwest side of town. I live on going towards Florida off of 181. Since this incident, I've been home 100% of the time. I work in West Texas now.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he lives with me 100% of the time now. So I'm not saying this is an excuse because it's definitely not an excuse. I was absent a lot with him growing up because I was overseas. But it's not an excuse because I was still there every other month and spent a lot of quality time with him. It might not have been quantity, but it was quality time for him to know that this was not what he should have done. But yes, now I'm with him 100%, or rather he's with me 100% of the time.
All right. And did he talk to you about this incident
Yes.
immediately thereafter?
No, it took some prodding. I mean, more so because he felt when he did break down, you could tell that he was more ashamed of the fact that he did something that he let me down. I not necessarily overbearing, but the military and then firefighter, paramedic, and I've kind of a little bit structured a little bit when I was with my kids, both my kids. And so when he did break down and let me know about everything that happened, obviously I told him we need to do something about it. And in 2023, when we thought it was going to all be resolved in December, January with Michael, we said, okay, let's get back on track. And we spent the time and paid the money for him to get his commission with the state and, follow and work with his mother's commission as well. And said, that's what you want to do, that's fine. But we need to figure out the job. We need to figure out a career. And so we've been talking about the CDO and him getting with me in the oil field and trying to get away from him. And he has not been with those friends, or well, obviously because they're locked up, but he's not been involved with anybody on that side of town since.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions?
No, Judge.
And I know you're silent, but any questions about?
I know you stated that you understand. So did you view the police reports in this case or?
Not since the incident, yes.
Okay.
But not obviously when he was arrested.
Okay. So, you understand that your son made an agreement with these individuals. So these individuals told him, hey, this is what we're going to go do. And your son agreed to go with them. You understand that, correct?
Yes.
And your son did fire his firearm into that house.
Yes, he did.
And it was occupied by multiple people. There were two 2-year-olds inside of that home.
Yeah, and I told him, despite the fact that they didn't believe anybody was there, you still fired.
Yes. And besides the two 2-year-olds that were there, there were other adult individuals in the home as well. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And one of the victims describes that there were over 200 bullet holes inside their home. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And your son was aware of this and agreed to engage in this type of conduct back in 2022.
From what I understand, and only from my son's recollection, is that he didn't think it was going to be all what it ended up becoming. Yeah, yes, he knew what they were going to go do, but he didn't believe it was going to be as impactful as it was.
So I guess it's my understanding he just didn't believe that the home was occupied, but he understood that he was.
Yeah, but he didn't understand that they were going to do as much damage as they ended up doing.
Okay, but he still engaged in shooting the firearm.
Yes.
You passed the witness.
Are there any other questions?
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving me some insights into your son.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Any other witnesses?
yes, Judge, I do want to call Axel. I have some issues, I think, as far as if the state's going to be silent. I think cross-examining the witnesses in the manner in which Megan is doing, I think kind of exceeds the scope of the silent. All
right. Well, the court will note that according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is silent, but they are able to address fact issues.
Well, I understand addressing fact issues, but my understanding, Judge, is addressing fact issues as part of argument if I misstate anything, and I have no objection to that.
Okay. All right. The court will note your any objections you have with regards to this witness.
Thank you. And Judge, so I'd like to call Ethan Rosales.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ethan Rosales.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
So Ethan, you and I reviewed the PSI, right?
Yes, sir.
And I guess over the course of my representation, we've discussed the incident in question, right?
Yes, sir.
Repeatedly. And we discussed the boys you were with that night, and
Yes, sir.
obviously the path they went on in their life, right?
Yes, sir.
And they're either, I guess, going to end up in prison for life or on death row, depending on whatever election the state has made. And so that kind of tells you the people you were hanging out with, right?
Yes, sir.
And I know you expressed regret
technically a level 4, but
Okay.
that's private security.
Okay. So you took all these tests, you passed background checks.
Be successful.
Okay. But the reason it stopped you is because of the decision you made, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess, if given the opportunity, do you think you'll be able to comply with any orders or conditions the judge imposes?
100%.
Okay. All right. I have nothing further.
All right. Any objections to the court asking?
No, not at all.
Walk me through this. Friends come to you. Were they your friends?
I guess I thought they were.
All right. So how did you meet them? How did you all become friends?
Just growing up in the school, playing basketball at the park, stuff like that.
All right. Were these your only friends?
No, I have more friends.
All right. So explain to me how this happened. You have some friends who come to you. So they come to you and what do they say?
About that night,
Yes.
I ended up going to their house and they let me know.
All right. So you go to their house. Did they call you and say, hey, come over, let's have, let's meet? Or how did it come to be that you ended up at their home?
I was just getting off of work. I ended up stopping by their house. They let me know.
All right. So you stop by their house. I like to do things step by step. So you stop by their house. What do you do when you get there? Are you all playing
Video games, yes.
playing video games? And so you're playing video games, and tell me how the conversation goes.
I guess they had information of somebody who was in that house, basically lived down the street. So we just get caught up.
Well, no. Because I'm trying to figure things out, and I'm trying to figure out what your mindset is. I think your attorney and other people, if somebody comes to them and say, hey, we're playing video games, but come with me. We're going to go shoot up this house. Here's your gun. Let's go shoot up this house. I'm trying to figure out what your mindset was and all of that. So you're playing video games. Were you drinking?
Man,
All right. So you're not drinking. You're sober. Were they drinking?
no.
So they're not drinking. They're sober. So how does the conversation go?
It was more of a retaliation thing.
No. I mean, like, what's the conversation? You're playing video games. Maybe somebody's, talking trash about, you can't win. I beat you. Then what's the next conversation? Hey, there's a person down the street. We don't like that person. We're going to go shoot up their house. We want you to come with us. I'm trying to figure out how the conversation went from you're playing video games. Maybe you all are trash talking to each other about, I'm beating you. You can't win. I trash talk during Mortal Kombat. So you're playing the video game. How does the conversation go? Who says, and if you don't want to name names, you don't have to name the specific names, but, who brings up the conversation and says, hey, we have some guns. We're going to go shoot up this house down the street. How does that conversation happen?
So I was at work. I got there. We were playing games. They let me know that they had information from.
Who's they? So what she's at, what she's trying to get is specific of the conversation.
Names.
Yeah, who brought it up?
I would say Chris.
All right. So a conversation starts with Chris. Chris says what?
He had information from somebody else. I didn't ask who. Of whereabouts of somebody that he wanted to retaliate on.
All right. So did he tell you why there was this want or need to retaliate against someone?
Yes, they had shot him previously. Don't know the timeline.
So he tells you, hey, look, somebody shot at me previously, and I've just received information that this person is at this house down the street. Is that how it went?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So he tells you that. Then what's the next thing that's said?
I was the only one with the car. They basically asked me if we would go. It was more of an impulsive decision.
No. Let's not do basically, because I'm trying to figure out what your mindset is, because I have to make a decision on whether or not to grant your application. So he tells you, I have information on the person who shot me. The person who shot me is at this location. All right. Thank you for imparting that information to me, Chris. So where does the conversation go from there?
They asked me if we would go. It was 4 of us.
All right. So they're saying, hey, let's go down the street. Now, when they say, let's go down the street, I'm sure it's not, let's go down the street. What was said?
They said that we were going to go shoot up the house, that we were going to retaliate.
All right. And so did you bring a gun to that location?
No, ma'am. I had got off work.
All right. So you got off work. You don't have a weapon. And they're saying, hey, let's go down the street and shoot up the house.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So where does the gun part come in for you?
I mean, they just had guns there, so took one with me.
Well, did they say, hey, you take a gun? Or did you just say, all right, let's do this, and you grab a gun on your own?
Yes, ma'am, I grabbed it.
So you grab a gun, they grab their guns. And at no point in this do you say, you know who shot at you previously, let's call the police and let the police know that this person is down the street. Nobody says that.
Mm-hmm. No, ma'am.
All right. So you get a gun that's been provided and you all get in the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
And are you driving?
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens next?
We drove about 2 blocks down the street, and that's where the house was.
Okay. So the house is 2 blocks down the street. And what are you thinking as you're driving to this location?
It was more of an adrenaline rush, like I would say so.
And how old were you?
19.
All right. So you're 19, you're getting an adrenaline rush and you drive to the house. And how far was that house from where you were playing video games?
I'd say about 3 minutes, maybe.
And nobody thought, so you guys were not going to walk, you're going to drive the 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're in the vehicle, you all pull upside the house. Then what happens?
We all got out, shot the house.
You call out?
We all got out and shot the house.
Okay. All right. And then after you shoot the house, what do?
We go back to their house.
So you get back in the vehicle and you drive back to the home.
Yes, ma'am.
And does anybody say anything?
No, ma'am. It just went back to, I guess, and games went back to normal.
All right. So then you go back to playing video games. And at some point, did you leave that house to go home?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you talk to anybody?
No, ma'am. I was pulled over. I can't remember the timeline, maybe an hour, 2 hours after. But yes, there was police in the area. I got pulled over.
All right. Any further questions?
No, Judge.
I just have one factual relates to smoke bombs. So I guess when you were pulled over, you didn't immediately stop, isn't that correct? Okay, you ended up in a crash, right? And you're saying that that firearm did not belong to you, you got it from the other people that you're hanging out with?
Yes, ma'am, but I did take it with me.
Okay, and it was located in your car, right? And then you told police on that day that you threw it out because you didn't want to get caught with it, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Defense.
Nothing. Just argument, Judge.
All right. The court will hear argument.
So, Judge, obviously this is a really severe fact pattern. The one thing I would note is I don't think up until this incident, Ethan had any criminal history. And I think since then, he's turned his life around. Obviously, I think Megan can make the court aware of the other, at least 2 of the other boys involved are in jail on capital murder charges. And obviously he was definitely running with the wrong group of boys that night. You know, that being said, obviously he made the decision. He accepts his responsibility for it. He understands what he did and how lucky he is that nobody's dead. What I'd ask the court to consider is since 2022, he's turned his life around. He had and lost a good job, and that's his fault because of the situation he put himself in. Can consider, obviously, the most important thing as far as I see is the court grant either, regular probation or deferred. Obviously, deferred would be a great opportunity for him moving forward as far as employment. But what I'd ask the court to just consider some form of supervision, just to recognize that in spite of this horrible situation that he got involved in, he's really shown himself to be a different person than he was when he was 19 years old. And I think he's got a good path in front of him. I'd ask the court to grant his application for either deferred or regular with whatever conditions the court feels are appropriate. And I think he'll be able to do it successfully. I don't think the court will see him again.
All right. This is a difficult case. And let me just tell you why it's a difficult case. It's a difficult case in that when you have children, people always say when you punish a child or give punishment to a child, it needs to be done immediately because otherwise they've done other things that shows that they've internalized what they've done wrong and they've made changes. So it's regretful that this case wasn't done sooner. And that's no fault through the prosecutors. And in this court, sometimes cases are not indicted. But here's my issue. When people get together in these groups and they decide to commit crimes together, sometimes if one person would have said, no, I'm not doing that. For example, it sounds to me like people were lazy. They didn't want to walk the 3 minutes. Probably if you would have said, yeah, I'm not going to drive. I'm not a part of this. Who knows? Maybe they wouldn't have done that day. I'm looking at the complainants too. Sometimes, well, I'm just going to say it. Some things are the cost of doing business, right? If you sell drugs, you're probably going to go to prison. You may end up getting killed. Cost of doing business. If you're a gang member, you may end up getting shot and die. Cost of doing business. If you shoot up someone's home and they come back and shoot up your home, cost of doing business. That probably will happen. But we can't have people running around lawlessly. And that's my issue. So the young children in that house, they were not a part of the cost of doing business. And I see that there's some issue for restitution. And honestly, I don't want to give restitution to somebody who shoots at somebody else, and then somebody comes to their home to shoot up their home, and now you want restitution. That's sort of like the cost of doing business. I'll hear restitution amounts, but it's really the cost of doing business. And I don't think they should benefit from, as we learned in law school, they have dirty hands. So they should not be benefiting with restitution. So the state is offering a cap of 7 years. I just don't think this is a case that's appropriate for probation. Counsel, I'll consider, I'll retain jurisdiction.
Okay.
So,
Can I speak to the cap?
yes.
Well, I appreciate the court retaining jurisdiction. So, Judge, I'd ask the court to take into consideration that it's been 3 years since this incident, that he's not gotten any more trouble. He's maintained employment. And obviously, if he does well and the court grants him shock, then I think he'll still have a good future in front of him. I'd ask the court to assess sentence of 3 years TDC while retaining jurisdiction.
All right. So the state was silent on his applications, but I don't think they were silent on the cap.
I think that covers, I think silent is silent. I think it's entirely up to the court. I don't think if the state wanted to make argument, then they could have opposed.
All right. Well, I will tell you this. According to the plea bargaining agreement, it says the state will make no recommendations to the application for deferred or community supervision. But state, if you have nothing to say with regards to the cap, the court will make its own decision based upon the stipulations, the PSI report, and defense his argument?
I get, Judge, I don't want to say it's implied in the plea bargain, but that's what I would be asking.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be a $1,500 fine. Time and money run concurrent. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And with regards to the restitution, and I'm serious about with regards to the restitution, you really need to come to court with the clean hands. You can't be a part of this life and then want restitution. But State, was there any restitution?
Judge, they did give an amount to, riot officer, the homeowner, and that was $15,740.65, but it says that the out-of-pocket actual expenses were $6,980.
All right. So here's the question for the court. Were there any receipts provided to defense counsel?
No, Judge, and I guess if we get to a hearing on the motion to shock, I guess we can have a restitution hearing at that time. I mean, it sounds to me like they just provided an amount to
Well, here's
probation.
my question. Were there any receipts?
To my knowledge, no, and there were none attached to the PSN.
All right. So the court doesn't have any receipts before it with regards to restitution.
So, Judge, I guess barring that, I mean, I don't think the court can impose restitution based upon estimates or just generic statements from the complainants.
So at this point in time, the court does not have any concrete evidence, not even
Have a seat.
preponderance of the evidence.
Seat.
The court doesn't even have a preponderance of the evidence for restitution. So at this time, the court is going to say there's $0 for restitution. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, off the record, here's the thing. If you strongly want the court to consider perhaps giving you shock probation, you had better show me something that you are doing while you are in custody at the prison. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to
I'll
you.
talk to you.
There's any victim impact statement, Judge? Anything?
Is there a victim impact?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll get it on. Yeah, so you know, when we find you, security front, you would do that.
Yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to do it all under that. So.
Okay, well, that's not good.